All right. Good morning. It's early. It's 8:31 on the 2nd of June, and we're gonna do some D&D. We are in session 95 of Odyssey, the Dragonlords, titled Aresia. We had some fun last week. We'll do a recap and then we'll get into it. If Arcadia is here.
Good morning, everyone. Streaming live to you from San Antonio, Texas. And in our last session and our previous session, we kind of overlapped and talked about what we did in the 3 days it took us to sail to Aresia. So in not this last session, but the session before that, it's when Ametrius's dragon was hatched. But also in the beginning of this session, we also go over the 3 days. So they're kind of melded together. So in our past session, we begin this session on our 98th day together with 33 days remaining of the Oath of Peace. And it starts off with an argument between Arcadia and Ametrius because Ametrius, who voted to have the Miramic on board, doesn't think it's his responsibility. In fact, when he voted to have it on board, as soon as he got on board and the dragon was born, he just pretty much ignored it. And she is concerned about it learning everything. And when she talks about it not wanting to bring it to our world, if we can indeed get there, he says, well, I'll tell you what, it's not going to be there, implying that he's going to kill it. But we had made a promise not to kill it. So she just walks away from him, unhappy with his not wanting to keep promises. On the second evening of our travels to Aresia, we all hear some beautiful harp playing, and Arcadia goes down and finds that the Miramic, from only watching her play it once, has made a homemade harp and is playing Amazon music. And then it speaks in broken Draconic, and she asks it how it's doing, and it is learning a lot. It asks a little bit about dragons, and thinks that they must be powerful females. He doesn't understand that he thinks that they are slaves, but she says some dragons are independent. Then she goes up and tells the crew, the party, what is happening, just in time to hear Ametrius, who thought the harp playing was a threat from some outside source, talking to Aresia, his new dragon, and telling her that some blood on her fangs would do her good and that her soul is forged in battle and it's in her blood to dominate and defeat her foes. And she's only, at this point, a couple days old. So she explains what happened, and Demetrius doesn't seem very worried about it. In fact, he thinks maybe if it can play music, they can use it to earn some coin in the city. But Corbin goes downstairs and says, I'll handle this. And he goes downstairs, watches the Miramic playing the harp for a little bit. The Miramic is very friendly and asks him to join. And then he just casually takes the harp, smashes it on the ground, and says, oops, and walks away. And Arcadia is concerned that now Corbin has taught it cruelty. They all think that it's a good thing that they're trapped and can't get off of the island. And actually, Ametrius thinks that if the Miramic can learn spells and is friendly, it could be a good ally, and then he'd rather work with him than grabbing. Then we hear a crash from downstairs. The creature has smashed an oar, thinking that this whole smashing thing is a sign of friendship. And she tries to explain to him that smashing is not a great thing. And we find out that it is keeping its mind open. It was a fan of Bahamut's earlier, but now it's thinking that maybe the Great Stallion. And she corrects its misunderstanding that most dragons are slaves. And she tries to explain that people are different and have different likes, like Corbin likes to smash things. But this bug comes from an ant colony, so it's kind of used to everybody thinking the same. So then Demetrius brings everybody to the captain's quarters. He's wondering if Sidon is different in this world, and perhaps we should try to talk with him. Arcadia is concerned that if we did kill his sister in this world, he would be upset with us, but we decide instead to just go to see Chuck first, because that is where Corbin has wanted to get a very fancy and special tattoo. So the third morning, we wake up and we find that the Ultros is completely covered in what appears to be regular fog. Nico casts ritual water breathing on everyone. Demetrius takes advantage of the situation, does some blind sight training with Estrella, and of course the bug copies him. And eventually the fog starts to lift and we see a big gate. And Demetrius recalls that there are monks in Aresia, which we all knew because of our great games experience. But Demetrius remembers from his arena days that the Aresians only have queens, and the current queen is named Helen, and that the god they worship is Narcissus. And Narcissus is one of Balmetrius' children, or Mitros' children, one of the 5 gods' siblings. And when we played Leaping Spires back in the great games with the Bullets, that was in honor of Narcissus, who is the god of beauty. So when we get to the gates, first they won't let us in. They're very unpleasant with us, but they go get Chuck because Corbin says to get Chuck, and Chuck brings us in. He is not scarred or burned, and he sees a growing tension between Demetrius and the guards and decides to bring us all into his home so we can talk in private. And we meet his friend named Laertes. And Chuck explains that the people in Aresia are pretty isolated and not connected with Mitros. They don't care that we are the heroes of the Oracle and that they worship Narcissus. And so don't go out expecting handouts and free stuff. And some people here don't really like centaurs. And so Demetrius decides that if he's not wanted in this city, he will just go back to the Ultros. Nico asks about the nearest tavern. He wants to try the local ales, so he goes to the Red Lotus, run by a very nice dwarven woman named Jocasta. Arcadia asks to study with the monks and train with them, and she has great interest in their stunning strike, but finds out that they do not have female monks. They do have female warriors, but most of the women are teachers. So instead, she asks if they would teach her privately, and Laertes agrees to go over the principles of the stunning strike. And so Gravik and Corbin go to, sorry, train. Gravik and Corbin and Chuck, oh my, go to a tattoo artist, and Corbin gets the Eldritch Claw tattoo, which will allow his strikes to be magical. And one of the tattoo artists, he finds out that she has they talk to Gravik and ask him if he wants a tattoo, and then he mentions that he was friends with Demetrius, and it sours one of them because apparently her brother was killed in the arena by a centaur. And then what happens is they joke about Gravik being a femboy and giving him a press-on tattoo, and then he makes a comment about, well, maybe Demetrius would like a tattoo to remind him of his time in the arena, basically when he killed the, a centaur, when he was killing other things, which of course makes the woman whose brother was killed by a centaur very angry. And so Chuck hurriedly ushers Gravik out because they're starting trouble. So back in the Red Lotus, Nico walks in and he orders a giant feast and finds a Minotaur to be in a drinking contest with, and unfortunately does not win. But becomes friends with the Minotaur and finds out that in a couple months there's going to be the greatest tournament in all the lands. And there's shot put, javelin, running, jumping. They show off their skills. And Nico explains that he won he did well in the great games with the Boon of Kentamane, but Taurus does not recognize the symbol. And Taurus tells him there's a few temples: the Temple of the Shadow, the Temple of the Elements, the Temple of the Shield, the Temple of the Sword, and the Temple of the Tranquility, and there is a wind shrine. And that the Temple of Narcissus is in the Queen's Palace, but he doesn't think outsiders would be allowed in. Nico asks him about the shield above the heart. It was once used by Stolos, the famous warrior who established the Temple of the shield. And he asks Taurus what kind of work he does, and he finds out that he's the Grand Master of the elements and the Master of ceremonies for different tournaments. And then Taurus asks him about Nico's time in Mitros, and he says, well, as you know, my people over there are slaves. Where do you stand on that issue? And Nico says that we liberated quite a few of them and, in fact, pay them. At that point, Taurus gives him something that he found a couple of days ago, and it's actually a Twitch Point magic item that I got for Necro, and it is a potion of fire giant strength. Meanwhile, Amitrius is headed back to the Ultros, and he sees the Mirrormech, and it is hard at work building a crude shield. And he asks it if you want to go out and have some adventure. And the Mirrormech says, but Queen Arcadia said I had to stay on the ship. And Amitrius says, I'm the captain. Don't worry about what she says. This is your chance. So he goes and grabs a weapon, a spear, gives it to the Mirrormech, activates the figurine of wondrous power of the Griffin, and they climb on and find a bandit camp. And Amitrius basically teaches the Mirrormech and Aresia and him. They go into battle and kill the bandits. Although the Mirrormech is very, very hesitant. He doesn't like to kill, and he kind of pokes one at the end. But what he finds after he searches the camp, Amitrius finds a bag of centaur bones that are very, very cleaned. And he takes some time to bury them and performs the ceremony ritual on it. The Mirrormech, meanwhile, is watching everything. And as they fly back, Amitrius says it's best if you don't tell Arcadia about that, or she'll be super pissed. And tries to explain to the Mirrormech about lies of omission, or actually that it's not really lying. But the Mirrormech says if Queen Arcadia asks it what it's done, it can't lie. Back with Laertes, Arcadia is learning the way of the stunning strike, and she picks up on it unnaturally quickly. And he says, well, honey, if you weren't born a woman, you would make one hell of a monk. And she says, that's okay. I'm happy being an Amazon. And he says, oh, you're a true Amazon then. And apparently fake Amazons have come in response to the Queen's request for Amazon warriors to help with some very artifacts and paintings and things. And then the people get sent out to find the bandits. They are found in the forest, hanging upside down with all of their blood drained from 2 puncture holes in their neck. It has been going on for about 6 or 7 months now. And actually, the Queen has shut down the palace. Now it's forbidden to end at least 4 or 5 months. And it's rumored the bandits are. Corbin is shopped for armor. He gets some mariner's breastplate armor, which will allow him to swim better. And Gravik goes to find out his play is actually being performed in the city, and it's by the Gallery of the Paintings. So he heads up there, and he finds some guards guarding a painting. And he says that, where he's from, they would guard it more with magic than with people. And he finds out that there is a person from Mitros that wants to buy the painting. And it is a painting of the first Aresian king, Carpathos the Wolf Lord. And that's why the guards are there. It's more for the person in Mitros who is trying to buy it. And so he searches further for the producer, looking for the most well-dressed and most flamboyant person among the group. And he sees a man saying, oh my God, I said tepid. I didn't say hot. I didn't say cold. I said tepid. Can't you guys do anything right around here? You people, I'm going to fire all of you. Jesus Christ, this fucking city. And he hears heels clicking as somebody is stomping away. And he finds the producer and tells him that he's Gravik Thorn and that he is there to collect the profits of the play. And the producer doesn't believe him. He wants to have some information about how, some proof of that he is who he says he is. A couple of female caterers walk in, faint because they see Gravik, but that's not enough. So finally, the producer asks Gravik to tell him, if he's a powerful wizard like Gravik is supposed to be, to tell him how many fingers he has behind his back. So Gravik casts Arcane Eye and convinces the producer that he is indeed Gravik. And he asks him a bit and says that perhaps he exaggerated a little when he wrote him as a eunuch, and to give him a normal sized phallus. And the producer repeats that and winks at him. And then Gravik is not going to push it because he believes Demetrius is not going to see it. But he leaves feeling very uneasy about leaving the play in the hands of the person. But the 10,000 gold pieces, he heads back to the Ultros with the plan to split it with the rest of the party. Which is way different than what happened in Mitros. So Nico asked back in the tavern, asked Taurus if there are any small adventuring jobs around that need doing, but Taurus says he doesn't think so. But the dwarf bartender comes by, and she's been flirting with Nico, who is resisting her because he's already in the doghouse with Ursa, who, reminder, we think might be a spy. So he has a couple of kegs of ale and a case of wine shipped to the Ultros, and she says she'd love to see him when he runs out of the bar. I mean, she'd love his business if when he runs out of alcohol. So Arcadia is in the marketplace looking for the seedy part of town and finds it, as well as Thieves' Cant, and sees a rickety sign with a bird on it down a seedy alley. And she goes into what looks to be a little apothecary with potions, and a woman that if named Kit comes out, and she is the redhead that way back, almost 2 years ago in our real time, when the party first came to Mitros and was buying things at an apothecary, she was the stunning redhead that was there. And so Arcadia gives her a hug, and Kit says that Arcadia has grown and is skinny. And Arcadia asks if she's going to stay in Aresia, and she says possibly. They kind of like the smaller town living. Then Arcadia asks her about something that Corbin ordered in Mitros. He ordered a rope of climbing and paid 200 gold pieces. And what happened was, we thought that Mitros was going to be attacked, so Arcadia gave Kit and her husband Darius the heads up that was going to happen. So they fled the city along with Corbin's 200 gold pieces, and apparently because Darius didn't think Corbin was going to follow them to Aresia, just kept the money and didn't bother making the rope. And so Arcadia says she owes Kit one, so she drops the subject and will make it up to Corbin. And she buys a couple of potions of greater healing to support her. There is a potion of heroism there that she can't afford at the time. And then she asks Kit about this rumor about the bandits. And Kit says, what do you know about vampires? That supposedly a den of them has made their home in the northeastern regions of the peninsula, and that they are undead filth. And the only way that Kit knows to kill them is of a stake through the heart, but that is only when they are weakened, but she doesn't know how to weaken them. So, of course, Arcadia is planning on talking to Gravik about this. She asks her where her husband Darius is, and apparently he had to go see a man to buy a horse 2 months ago and never returned. And he went south on the peninsula, which is the opposite direction of where the vampires are reputed to be, in the northeastern section of the peninsula. And then Arcadia decides to ask Kit if Lutheria is alive in this, basically in Aresia, or in her mind, in this world. And as far as Kit is concerned, she thinks she is. And then Arcadia asks her if the five gods ever go to Aresia. They rarely go there. And as far as Narcissus goes, he doesn't walk amongst the people. Kit has never seen him. So then she asks Kit any places in the city she suggests she goes visit. She says the Temple of Shadows, but you have to need to wear a headscarf, which is also what Laertes told her, that she would need to wear a headscarf. Maybe the Temple of Elements, the Gymnasium, especially if you're training, for beauty, the Hanging Gardens, or the Painting Gallery. And as Arcadia leaves, she notices Kit is pregnant, and she is due in about 5 months. So Arcadia heads to the Gymnasium. She sees a sign that there's a tournament every week on the 7th day, and people are training there, and she takes a quick look to see if there's anything she can learn from, and she doesn't really see anything, although she sees some archers there, but she thinks she could probably shoot better than them. But the gymnasium is huge. It's kind of set up like a coliseum and can fit about 3,000 to 4,000 people. Corbin takes Chuck to show him the Ultros, and when the party is together, he will ask him about the fake monks, and Nico, once it gets to be evening, will stumble back to the Ultros. So Arcadia buys a headscarf and goes to the Temple of the Shadow, and it is deadly quiet and unsettlingly still. So she decides to try to be as quiet as possible when she walks in using stealth. And it is eerily quiet. She doesn't see or hear anyone, and it looks like a normal temple with a tatami mat for practice on it. So she is careful not to step on it. There's an upper level for observation, a bunch of closed doors on the lower level, and no altar. So she's unsure if she is being watched, but sensitive that this is a temple and is careful to avoid what looks like forbidden areas. She continues walking very quietly in the hopes that if someone is watching her, she will prove worthy of some sort of contact. And she goes upstairs and then returns downstairs, kneels at the edge of the mat, and practices her meditation for half an hour, controlling her breath and being incredibly still. And at the end of the half hour, she hears a voice from behind her, which says, "You breathe so loudly, I could have shot you in the dark." She bows to the mat before standing up and says, "Well then, I need more instruction." And she turns and is face to face with a person in a mask. As she looks up on the observation deck, there are about 20 people wearing black hoods that cover their faces. And we end the session on our 98th day together with 33 days remaining of the Oath of Peace.
All right. That was good. Okay, so let's kind of go into it. To remind you, this is kind of what this person looks like.
Very friendly.
Very friendly indeed. Kind of reminds me of like kind of reminds me of like a Sith in a way.
Oh, a Sith? Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's what it kind of reminds me of. Yes, Caesar, I'm aware.
So,
sorry.
Arcadius turned around and was looking at this.
I keep forgetting to do it.
After he said to her, she says, "Well, then I need more instruction."
And why would we give you instruction?
I am a stranger in this land. I am seeking to learn. And if I am worthy, I would gladly accept instruction.
Oh, we all know about you already, Arcadia. Let's just say that your friend, the dwarf, has a very loose tongue.
Oh, what did he say about me?
Oh, he said much about all of you and your companions.
Well, then, do you know that we are seeking to save the world from destruction, including Aresia?
Allegedly, yes. But also we do not worship your gods, and maybe it's your gods who are plotting the destruction of this world. Yeah, Caesar, if you want to make me an overlay, I'll totally drop it. I just keep forgetting it.
But
100%.
we can only try to learn as much as we can to sift through this information. And that is what I'm trying to do as well.
And you come to our...
Worship Narcissus, the god of...
Oh, you keep breaking in and
out. He is the god.
You keep breaking in and out.
Oh. Was I breaking in and out during the recap too?
Semi.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, you had a few moments during the recap as well.
Oh, sorry. Well, I don't know why. She says that she heard that the
It's
Aresians
because of the
worship
mech.
Narcissus, the god of beauty. She originally said you, and then she changed it to that he is worshipped here.
And this person looks at you, and there are some who worship this Narcissus. That is correct.
And she says, the Temple of Shadows is this. I am new here. I see that I've been told you have several temples. What is your philosophy? What distinguishes the temples? Are there people who train in particular tactics in each temple? Are there certain philosophies?
Let's just say that we here are known as those in the shadows. That if you were to, if you will not see us unless we want you to see us.
I am working on that myself, but obviously have fallen short.
You need lots of training. Our younglings here could do better.
Do you allow people to train with you?
If you are found worthy.
And how is one found worthy?
There are various tasks, but our what's that word? Curriculum? No, our the requirements. There we go. The requirements are different from person to person. For instance, your horse. He is way too loud. And then your wizard is let's just say that he's a little undead.
Damn, they know everything. Sus.
Super sus.
What are your thoughts about me?
You breathe too loud. But I think that could be fixed. Just like the dwarf, I think the dwarf's tongue can be closed a little bit, and maybe his drinking can be quelled. As far as the gnome, well, he has too many attachments. But I think we could work with that as well. What's the capital of Assyria?
It had not occurred to me about the volume of my breathing. Obviously, I'd only thought about controlling it. Do you interact much with the gods here? You mentioned that maybe our gods are manipulating us. Would you have any insight on that? Have you heard of a god named Orcus?
And when you say that, you hear some murmuring from up top from some of the other individuals, and this person says, "What do you know about this Orcus?"
I've heard differing opinions about him. One that he is the head of the pantheon of gods and leads them, and the other that he is trying to reap souls for power. Very different. I don't know what to think of him.
And they don't say anything.
Do you think that there are gods trying to destroy the world? Have you heard of the clash between the Titans and the Five?
But Lutheria is dead, is she not?
Apparently she is.
So then it would be just a clash between a Titan and the alleged Five, yes?
Yes, although we're not sure if there are more that exist that are just not as obvious. Perhaps hiding in the shadows.
And they don't say anything.
How is Lutheria and Sidon viewed here?
Well, Lutheria is dead, and Sidon is Sidon. Apparently, he also needs to be stopped. And as the great heroes of the Oracle, you don't appear to be any closer to stopping him than when you started out several months ago.
We have been taken in many different directions and are trying to gain as much information as possible. And while we haven't gotten closer to, at this point, dealing with Sidon, we have met many other entities in our adventures. I'm curious, have you, speaking of the quests and things that have taken us away from the main quest, have you heard of the bandits that have been plaguing the city, and the Queen has requested Amazons to come?
And by bandits, do you mean vampires? Yes, we have heard of them.
And no one has been able to take care of them so far.
And they don't respond. Clarence Clemens and the Hearst Bill and Ted. And they say, so are you saying that you and your great heroes, great companions, are going to go and stop this?
I don't know. I've just heard about it. Would you happen to know about a man named Darius who was going to buy a horse and disappeared in the southern peninsula?
Ah. A man who went to see another man about a horse and did not come back.
seems suspicious. Would you happen to know anything about that?
Well, we know that him and his wife came here, and once he learned that she was with child, that he up and left. Now, not to say that he is a deadbeat father, but well, if the shoe fits. But then again, maybe he actually was captured.
Is there some sort of a gang or something in the Southern Peninsula that does stuff like that?
If there are, they do not come here.
I appreciate your time. I realize, of course, that you did not need to reveal yourselves to me.
We have revealed nothing.
You have revealed your existence, and I know that is a choice.
And they don't say anything?
Pardon?
They don't say anything?
They don't say anything? She says, is there a task that I might tackle that would allow me to learn some of your techniques?
And why would an Amazon leader such as yourself wish to learn techniques from us?
Because I am always trying to learn and better myself.
And what do you have to offer us?
I don't have many things, being an Amazon. I do have some money.
And the person kind of chuckles and, we don't need money.
Is there any task that needs doing?
No. You are allegedly the daughter of Hythor, are you not?
It is said that I am.
And you have his ear?
I might.
And you are able to be close to him?
On occasion, when he's around, yes.
Interesting. Well, all that we can say now is we are always watching. Don't call us, we'll call you. As Demetrius would like to say.
She then bows.
And when you come back from your bow, they are gone.
So she'll go out, and
With nothing to do,
what
but
time of day is it?
early evening. We have a high school young man.
She would continue going around, but if it's better for the game, should she head back to the Ultros?
Yeah, I think about now, pretty much everyone would have been congregating back.
So she's going to go back to the Ultros.
While she's doing that, can I do something quick on the Ultros?
Sure, sus.
I want to go to Verena and talk to her in private.
Okay.
You know, tell her, Verena, I have a mission for you and your tieflings.
Yes, my captain.
I went out and I found a strange group of bandits that had stolen some centaur bones and were transporting them. Can you and your tieflings go into the city and see what you can find out about people that might want to buy centaur bones or what use they might have?
And she looks at you and she says, "Now, do you wish us to be hidden or to let ourselves be known?"
Well, I'd want you to do it as discreetly as possible. I mean, you don't have to stay entirely hidden, but maybe you can go out disguised and ask questions and such. I don't want the city to know that I'm leading like an inquest into this kind of stuff. Maybe you can check with like thieves guilds or stuff like that.
We will do our best, sir.
Thank you. And I'll pat her on the shoulder and I'll say, you've been a great help.
My pleasure, Captain.
Then I'll go and wait for the rest.
And when you're going back, I'm assuming Estrella is with you.
Yes.
So when you're going back up, you hear something that sounds kind of like this. And if you turn to look, give me a dex save. And I'm gonna give Estrella also a dex save.
Nice.
As you turn to look, as Estrella gets smacked with some poo, and you look and it's coming from Junior, and he hoots and hollers.
I will. I'll try to. Is he like high up? Is he out of my reach?
Oh yes.
I'll try to pick up a little stone or a pebble if I can find it, or a bit of wood, and throw it at Junior.
Okay, give us a
say,
D2.
can I use my throne?
Yep.
Javelin?
Yep. It smacks him.
I say, don't do that. You can do it to the others, but not to my little Astrea.
And he starts mocking you.
And I threaten to throw another one, but I don't actually throw it. I just like make the hand movement.
And he takes off running.
And I will go and get a bucket, some soap, and some water, and I'll begin washing Astrea.
And she's
do that as the rest arrives.
And she'll ask what that smell is, and it's kind of it tastes kind of good.
Astrea, please don't eat that. I'll use my animal handling to try and teach you not to eat that. And I'll say that is monkey shit.
And she'll say, "Monkey shit."
Yes, it's bad for you. You'll get an upset tummy.
But it smells so good.
Yeah, that thing only eats nuts, so you know. It's bad for you, and I'll try to wash it.
Fuck! Ooh, Sven. What's up, Sven? Thank you for the gift sub for Nico. And I think about this time, that's probably when the gang would be all here. Everyone would be congregating back.
Nico comes stumbling up the plank. Got a keg on his shoulder.
That's right.
Small one, but
A keg is a keg.
that's right.
Plus, he ordered 2 kegs of ale and a case of wine to be delivered.
I
Yeah.
bet you did.
And I'll say, hey, Nico, drinking again?
Again, I never stopped.
Go on, man. You gotta keep your head in the game. I know what it's like to drink every day. You gotta calm down sometimes. Otherwise, it becomes like water.
True.
Why don't you take a few days break?
Okay. Can you help me dry out?
Yeah, get right on that. Get right on that.
As Gravik notices everyone start to arrive back on the old drugs, he'll call out, can everyone gather around quickly? All senior staff.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. Fix it.
You also see when you say that, Gravik, you'll see the bug also come up. Back to working and looking. Just drive by something. Appreciate it, sir. Thank you.
He'll just look at the bug, but he won't correct him and letting him know that he's not considered senior staff. So I just ran some errands this morning, and I just well, it's better if I just show you, I suppose. And he'll open his bag of holding and start dumping out the gold.
And Estrella, Vengeance, and the boy Aziz all struggle and start flying to the gold.
No, this is not. No, I'll give you your share, Aziz. You two will have to talk to your owners.
I'll do animal handling to try and calm Astrea down.
And also Gravik give me an animal handling for Aziz. And also for Corbin if you're trying to stop her.
I'm just gonna let her go get the gold.
Okay. Aziz stops and grumbles as he watches Vengeance and Estrella pick gold up. Why do they get gold? Why do I get? I don't want gold.
So I was thinking of divvying this up 5 ways, so it'll be about 2,000 each.
Minus the 17 that the dragons were able to take.
No, sure.
You can deduct that from mine.
He's just gonna watch the Demetrius' dragon run off with his that's part of your share.
Yeah, I'll try and teach her not to do that.
Yeah, how much did Vengeance get?
The 17 between the two. Yeah, so let's see. Vengeance can have. Vengeance got 10.
Very pleased because she got more.
Of course.
The older dragon, what a bully.
So Gravik will start counting and divvying up the coins and handing them to each member of the party. So
And I'll pat Gravik on the shoulder. I'll say, "Good work," and I'll deduct the gold that.
And the Mirmek asks, "What about us?"
well, you're not really. Gravik just looks very uncomfortable. You see, this was just between the 5 of us.
Oh, so you do not share things equally in your society.
Well, no, not to that extent. No. But you see, we need the money more since we're all the ones that go off the ship and fight the monsters and do all the hard.
Yeah, but
I'll interrupt Gravik before he digs himself in any deeper. I'll say, "Those who work eat. If you do something heroic, and you get gold as well."
And the bug will look at Demetrius, but what about earlier when... And it will stop.
And I'll look around suspiciously and say, "That was just that's not enough. That was too simple a task." And I'll quickly try to change the subject, and they'll say, "Good work, Gravik. Thank you for sharing this fairly. And have any of you been talking to that god that's supposedly hiding in the city Narcissus or something.
Oh,
Have any of you gone to him? Really?
spent the
None of
day-
you?
And you hear
I spent the day with Chuck, but Chuck
I
knows
spent the
about
day
it.
in the bar, the tavern.
None of you thought it was a good idea to talk to the local god that rules the city.
That includes you.
Well, I'm not welcome in this city.
Well, this is going on. Gravik will walk up to Aziz and hand him 106 gold.
And Aziz's eyes grow big, and he struggles as he flies up with it to his perch. And he's still grumbling as he flies away.
What's wrong, Aziz? You got your share?
Nothing. I'm fine.
No,
Yeah.
I know you. I know you're nothing. It's not fine. What's wrong? Get back down here.
No. And
Yeah.
he will keep flying.
You won't. I won't give you any more gold if you don't come back and tell me what's bothering you.
And he stops and slowly just sinks back down.
He'll walk over to Aziz now. What's wrong?
But did you have to give it to all of them? You could, if you were just going to give it away, you could have given it to me.
I mean, I didn't just give it away. I split it among the group so that we can each use it for
Yeah,
our
but-
own reasons.
But they don't need it.
They do need it. Like, what? They're gonna go buy things with it. Aziz, what are you gonna do? Just lie on it?
And
Well, it's not really useful if you're just using it as a bed.
but as it gets bigger and bigger,
It's
Then-
just gonna be a bigger bed then for you.
that's good because we're going to get bigger.
Yeah, that's true, but it's not really useful if you're just hoarding it.
But why are you going to give the baby gold? The baby doesn't need gold.
The baby? What baby? Oh, you mean the one that stole the 17 gold? Well, that was part of Demetrius's share, so it's up to him.
Take it.
And Aziz will just look at you like he's a very stubborn teenager.
We'll discuss this later. And he'll like turn around and like, by the way, class is going to be early next morning. We're gonna work on spellcraft.
And Aziz starts flying away.
Just for that, I'm gonna make it extra dry.
And
You're going to teach your dragon spells.
And Aziz, he looks back and you can see that he's aiming and something lands right next to you. And he keeps flying away.
That's it. PowerPoint to death.
And the bug says, "What's a PowerPoint?"
Don't worry about it.
I will walk up to Gravik and I'll put my hand on his shoulder and I'll shake my hand and say, that's not how that works with dragons. Dragons, they respect strength, they respect size. You need to show Aziz that you can fight.
Gravik's just gonna like
Hi,
look
Grav.
up and down at Demetrius like, you do know dragons are ancient wise creatures and yeah, okay, sure.
They have dragon blood in them. They have conquered 1,000 societies.
He's just going to like start ignoring Demetrius like he doesn't know anything about dragons.
Well, mine is at least isn't trying to shit on me.
And Gravik, you know that if maybe Demetrius, but you know, if Aziz really wanted to, he would have.
Yeah, okay.
Is anyone else hearing everybody's voice kind of like breaking up, cracking up?
No, you just have very
I
poor
think it's your
internet
connection. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Mac connection.
today. Yeah, your audio is barely coming through at this point.
Let me read. I'm gonna drop out and rejoin.
It's the
Maybe
Mac.
with a different Wi-Fi signal.
It's the Mac. That's what I'm saying. It's the
It's
Mac.
the Mac.
It's the Mac's reason.
Apple hardware.
Can you hear us? This way I can say Arcadia all day and she can't do anything. I know Matt counts. I'm just giving her, always give her shit.
Corbin would whisper over to Demetrius. And
It's her
say,
connection.
I brought Chuck. I think we should talk about what happened with the fake monks. He doesn't know that yet.
Chuck
Oh.
again. Fine.
What's up, Chuck?
Well, so I would say, Chuck. I'd say, well, I wanted us all to be together to discuss something that happened to us before we came here, and I will relay our tale of encountering the strange monks and what they tried to do with the body.
And he'll ask, and he gets quiet and says, and you didn't want to tell me before, did you?
Well, I thought it would be inappropriate until we were all together.
That is fair. And he kind of, this is kind of sussy. It sounds, when they look just like us.
They fight like you too.
They had a symbol on them. Can I kind of draw the rune that they had on them?
Yeah. And he kind of like grabs his chest and steps back, and when after he does, like he recovers, he kind of like tears up your drawing or wherever you drew it. Don't draw that.
They kept using the stunning strike on us.
That is
Yeah. Is there any protection against that?
And he kind of winks. I can't tell you that because, what if we face off again in the future? Of course, as allies, but, in another tournament, I can't tell you how to get out of it.
We killed them easy enough.
I could recommend that you bring a fire-resistant potion next time we meet.
Fire resistance, I see. And do you breathe
Might save your
fire?
life.
Do you breathe fire?
Well, you never know.
And he looks over at Vengeance.
I'll
and
finger my necklace as I say that.
and he sees the necklace and says, "Oh, what is that for? Do you sit on it?"
I'll say, enough of this. What do you know of the monks? Clearly, you know something of the symbol.
And he says, this is a broken faction dedicated to the gods. And he doesn't say his name. But they are a broken faction, and there are some who wanted to worship him and his way, and we just, the rest of the city would not do it. So they broke away.
I have some questions for you. Is
I'll answer
Pythor
what I
fat,
can.
or is Pythor fat, or is he muscular?
And he looks at you and... What do you mean by fat?
Well, has he let himself go? Has he become a fat man? Was he fat during the games?
Not during the games, no. But
And
but prior to that, he was a little, let's say, chunky.
What about
And,
lately? I heard he's been getting regular deliveries of cheesy potatoes.
Ah, the cheesy potatoes. I have heard of these. I have been wanting to go to your land and try them.
And I will ask after Kyra, if does she have purple hair? Because he saw her during the Great Games, right?
And he says, Kyra, the goddess of music, purple hair, what are you on?
What clothes was she wearing? This is important.
The traditional Mirtrosian outfit.
But the Kyra that we met in the evil Kyra, she had purple hair, right? Out of character, I mean.
Yeah. And she was kind of steampunk.
So it's kind of strange that he doesn't seem to know that. Also, have you ever had the idea that the five gods might be evil?
Well, I mean, Narcissus, Narcissus would never be evil. He's a wonderful god, but maybe Vulcan. Well, maybe not Vulcan, but maybe Pythor, as he is a warrior. I mean, you could always turn to evil, but as being crude and nasty, nah. I mean, there might be some here who think that, but nah.
What makes Narcissus such a wonderful god? What does he do for you people?
And he points out to the city, and well, not to compare apples to oranges, but look at Mirtros and look at Aresia.
That city was built by human hands, not by the hands of a god.
Yes, but look how it is maintained. You have the
human hands.
You have the Titans always trying to destroy Mirtros, but they don't try to destroy Aresia.
That's a good point, actually. That's the one thing that Narcissus might be good for. So he keeps the Titans out of your city. Okay.
And then he winks and says, "You mean Titan?"
Indeed. And if you should know that Mitros is looking quite a bit better these days. There are riches there and mansions that are beyond anything that Aresia has to offer.
Mansions?
Indeed.
What do we need with mansions?
You know, living like a king.
Then he looks at his clothing and he's dressed in a robe, and what do I need to be living like a king for? I'm just fine and happy how I am.
And Amicius laughs and he says, it's bad for a man to be happy where he is. A man needs to want something.
Oh, there is much that I want, young centaur, but I get what I am given, and I'm happy with that.
Very well. That's all I have to do.
Where could we find this splinter faction of monks?
I wish I knew exactly, but from what I know, they are south of the city.
You think they have anything to do with the corpses found late?
Corpses?
With the blood missing?
I do not think so. I think those were found.
You wouldn't know about
to the
that,
northwest.
actually.
I thought you told us already.
Corbin doesn't. Nope.
Oh yeah, because you guys.
Said a word.
Yeah, she hasn't debriefed y'all yet. I don't think.
All right, never mind. Didn't ask.
Yeah. Okay.
Arcadia would say that there is someone that she knows who has disappeared to the south of the city. Apparently, he said he was going to buy a horse from a man and hasn't been seen in a couple of months. Do you suppose that might have something to do with that faction? Do they kidnap people?
And he says,
"Isn't that code speak?"
And he says, "What is his name?"
His name is Darius.
And you see him. He turns and spits on the ground. Bastard.
Arcadia, I'm pretty sure buying a horse from a man means that he's gonna do something stupid or illegal.
And he says, why do you spit on the ground?
He came to me, or he came to us, and was asking for stuff, and my guess is that he took off one day, and I'm pretty sure that he has joined them.
Joined the monks? The fake monks?
He was asking about Orcus and
What
Wait,
so...
is that what the symbol was for?
And I'll say that's
he'll know.
actually perfect for us because we can find him easily.
And she says, what is so enticing about Orcus that would cause people to go to his side? Is he the leader of the pantheon of gods here, or is he is he the leader of the pantheon of gods?
he kind of looks at you and no, I know he's trying to take over.
With this, and he gains power through people's souls, yes? And she looks at Gravik.
That is correct.
And I'll walk up to Arcadia and says, "This is a good lead. Gravik can easily scry for your little friend, and then we'll know where the monks are, and we can attack them."
I'll need something of theirs to make the spell more effective.
Yeah, she says,
And Chuck says, "You're not actually talking about going after them, are you?
Of course we are. Who do you think we are?
Fools if you do."
Yeah, that's what Lutheria thought, and now she's dead.
Lutheria is but a... And he says, "Well, if you do, I want nothing to do with this." He will give you a bow, and well, if we are to see each other again, I hope all of you are here. And he will bow, and he will start to take his leave. And he's mumbling, "Fools."
Seems Chuck shit his pants.
Well, are we sure we want to do this? Maybe we just, pull anchor and leave this place.
No, we need to capture some of those monks and torture them for information.
I don't know if we have to torture them, but why? Maybe just wash our hands of this whole situation.
No, I want to go back to my own world. Whatever is going on, Chuck seems to have come here as well because he seems to have remembered the games as they were instead of
No,
whatever.
not completely. He is not burned.
That is true. Was that even him?
Yeah, it was that. Well, it looks the same.
I'm pretty sure
Except
you
without
burned
the
a
burn.
random monk and Chuck survived.
No, he might have survived, but he was definitely burned.
Okay. Well,
He tried to kill you, and I didn't like it, so I threw him into
yeah,
the fire.
Corbin threw Chuck into the fire.
maybe even more timelines are merging in. Because some people seem to say that Orcus is great and at the head of the Pantheon, and some people say he's not at the head of the Pantheon, but he's trying to take over. We're meeting people with different memories all the time.
Gravik's gonna look over at the bug person. You getting all this?
I say we scry for the location of this Darien and raid the compound of the enemy monks, capture a few, and we'll interrogate them with my magic, forcing them to tell the truth.
You see, magic isn't technically just magic. There's conditions and things that have to be met for it. If you want the spell to work, I'll need to have a picture, a possession, a body part, lock of hair, bit of nail.
Arcadia, don't you know that that little girlfriend of his, Kim?
You don't know any of this.
Yeah.
I thought I think you mentioned her before.
Yeah, but you don't
No.
know that. Yeah, I don't think so.
Nope, don't know anything.
We didn't
So-
keep anything when we were fighting the monks, did we?
I don't think so. Yeah.
But anyway, Arcadia would wonder. She said I could probably get, some hair or something of his. I said in the meantime, I wonder if this would help. And she pulls out the potion of greater healing that she bought from one of the potions that she bought from Kit. In wondering if he touched it. But she says that. But it's better if I get some of his hair or something, right? She looks at
something
Gravik.
part of his body, possession. That'd be the best options available.
Okay, well, I can go back. But in the meantime, I should tell you something. If we're going to be out adventuring, it doesn't seem like they're in the same area because they say the monks are in the south. But I have heard that they're, and she looks at Gravik, especially, she says that I would need your advice on this, that there is a den of vampires in the northeastern section of town. And I just want us to be prepared in case we run into them.
A den of vamp. When did they
Corbin
arrive
immediately
here?
starts pulling out garlic.
Stop that. That doesn't work. If you want
Something a vampire would say.
I don't know. I didn't know you. I thought you didn't have vampires here. When did they get here?
When did we meet you again?
But I wouldn't
Apparently
know.
there's-
There's. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you can go.
I wouldn't know much about them. Like vampires are just like people. They all have their own motivations and desires. They may not even be from where I technically come from, so it's hard to say.
Well,
How do we protect ourselves against them? What
Well, they like
the person I talked to said they had heard that a stake through the heart, but only when they're weakened. But they don't know how to get them to that weakened state. But if are they undead, and if so, how do you kill something that's already dead?
fire, sunlight, stake through the heart, decapitation.
jump in the head of always works.
But it's usually they might even be able to come back from that, depending on how strong they are.
You come back from having their head cut off.
Yeah.
Outrageous. What, like a new head grows?
I'm not 100% sure on it myself. I've never.
Does a new body grow?
Just some vampires that have supposedly been killed that just like showing up after a short hiatus.
What if you mush the head into like a paste?
I don't know, Demetrius. I don't.
Nico's on the ground rolling, laughing. That's the funniest thing I've ever heard.
The Miramac also starts laughing on the ground.
She says, do the stakes have to be made out of anything special?
Just wood, from what I understand.
Okay.
No, I'd rather be hit with a stake than have my head chopped off.
Do we have? Does any Nico? Do you have any spells that conjure sunlight?
I do.
That could be useful against them. Could weaken them and keep them from regenerating.
If they are undead, then I can expose them with a single glance.
Yeah, probably not. The vampires are pretty resistant to such things. They're not simple zombies.
I can sense all of the undead.
You can't sense me.
Well,
He said it. He said it.
Don't piss me off. You're not even an undead. You don't even burn in the sun like you said vampires do.
Yeah, that's true.
I will pat Demetrius on the back and say, "Don't worry, Demetrius. He has no sense.
He is no undead."
Arcadia says, should I just go and try to get a lock of hair or something from this man?
We're not actually seriously thinking of taking on a den of vampires, are we?
Well, not the vampires. Who cares about that? I'm talking about the monks.
Okay, yeah, that's the monks. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
What if they're
If,
monk vampires?
If Aresia wants our help with these vampires, they can come here, get down on their knees, and put down a fat pile of money. Then we'll take care of the vampires.
And she says, Arcadia says, well, I think we should be prepared to at least have some sort of defense against them in case we run into them.
The Divine Stallion's magic will destroy them.
Corbin continues to lay out piles of garlic in various forms.
And Arcadia says, depending on how many of them, I don't think we should assume that you can kill all of them.
Well, luckily I'm sleeping on a ship with 50 Minotaurs to help me.
I'm talking about when we go in pursuit of the monks, if we run into the vampires.
Well, the vampires are east in the town, and the monks are to the south, so that won't be a problem.
Vampires can cross ground quite easily when they transform.
Well, why would vampires go for us? Why?
And Arcadia says, I don't know. I just like to be prepared for all the possibilities.
Well, then go buy some holy water while you're out.
Why does holy water do anything to vampires?
Yes.
Gravik said yes.
It can have an effect on them. But
well, should I go back to get some hair? I can we can just say she does it and come back, or
I'm surprised none of you have gone to meet Narcissus.
She says, I didn't see it. I didn't see a temple of Narcissus, but I
Sounds
only
very
had
vain
so
to me.
much. I only had so much time to go looking around. I mean, it's a big city, so.
I made it as far as the Red Lotus, and that's what I stayed. Sorry.
I'll
I
show
don't know
Demetrius
if
my new
Nico.
tattoo.
I don't know if Nico is too drunk to remember a couple of things that he learned from Taurus, that the Minotaurs are slaves, which is only true in our world. The other thing he learned was that the Temple of Narcissus is in the Queen's Palace, and no one can get into it. I don't know if he remembers that, but because he's pretty drunk.
Plus, who knows what else he told, because apparently that person knows a lot.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll leave it up to you to decide if you share that with the party, if you think you remember it.
Oh, maybe the next morning.
Okay.
Once he starts detoxing, but he needs Demetrius's help, and then he'll definitely remember. Oh yeah, yes. Couldn't go in there.
Well, is this meeting adjourned? Are we going to wait for the lock of hair?
Yeah, I suppose.
And I'll turn towards the mermeek, and I'll point at him and say, "No breaking shit." And then I'll leave.
And he says, Sir, should I bring my spear again?"
No.
"What's a vampire?"
Ask Gravik.
"Queen, what's a vampire?"
She says, I don't know, except it seems to be something that's undead and very powerful. And did you make a spear for yourself?
And he looks over at Demetrius. No.
Does he have it with him? Is
No.
he standing there with a spear? No.
He is not. He's kind of standing there with a makeshift shield that he was working on.
Oh, but you made the shield. Did you get the spear to work to try to work with both of them?
And he looks at Demetrius again. Is he still? Are you still there?
No, Demetrius is leaving to the officer's deck.
And he's watching Demetrius leave and says, "But, Queen, Captain Demetrius says not to tell." And he puts his head down.
Fucking snitch.
And she says not to tell me, not to tell what?
And he just bows. It bows lower.
What, he gave you a spear?
Yes, Captain Demetrius gave us a spear.
Okay, did he train you how to use it?
And the Mimic, but Captain Demetrius says not to tell. He said that that the Queen didn't need to know.
What, that he trained you with a spear?
Yes, and he trained us how to use this spear. But they were already going to die, so I couldn't. I was just. We were just curious.
So, you were in a battle of some sort? They were already going to die, or is there? Did you kill some animals on board?
And they are very hesitant and don't really answer.
Did you leave the ship, little one?
Yes.
Okay, so what did you do?
Demetrius, he made a griffin appear, and he took us for a flight, and said that we needed to learn how to blood, and we found a camp full of people, and he started attacking them, and they started fighting back, and then when one was almost already done, he said I needed to blood my weapon, so I stabbed it, and we killed it.
And she says, then,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
and she says, and how do you feel about killing?
Horrible.
And she says, and you should continue to feel that way, because it is a very serious thing to take another being's life.
And the captain said it was us or them, but we didn't have to do it. But the captain took us, and then we did it.
For having
You didn't have to. You mean he just took you somewhere to attack people?
He said he asked if we wanted to go for a ride, and he was going to take us off the ship, and then he did.
And just found a random group of people to attack and kill them?
That is what we think, yes.
You know what that makes you do, don't you?
And he took some bones that they were transporting.
You know what this means, don't you?
What?
Little one.
What does mean?
It means you're a murderer now.
And he falls to the ground. Murderer.
He's gonna look over at not Dimitri, but Arcadia, just kind of like, if we teach him that murder is wrong, maybe that'll actually keep them from doing anything bad here.
And she nods. And she said, like I said, taking another creature's life is a big decision that I don't think you are equipped to make, because everything here is too new to you.
So if we were going to die, we should not fight back?
I think you can defend yourself if you're going to die. If you think you're going to die.
And he looks up and what does Bahamut say about death?
Bahamut is a god of justice. That means you can defend yourself, but you cannot kill indiscriminately for your own selfish ends.
Murderer. We are murderer.
You did a horrible thing, but you can redeem.
You weren't even there.
He's-
We're
I
going
know.
off the fact that he said that you went out and found people and just wanted to kill them. That you actually left the ship in search of people to kill.
Yeah, and I'm sure they're going to confront Demetrius about this very soon.
So, you did do a very horrible thing, but there is a path of redemption. You have to try and help people from now on and protect the weak and innocent.
And Arcadia will say, it's not your fault you were led into this by Demetrius.
Murderer.
So,
We are sorry, Queen. We are murderer.
and she says, don't be hard on yourself. Again, you were led to do this by Demetrius. I'm going to talk to him right now. So she goes downstairs to find Demetrius.
No, he's upstairs on the.
He's the yeah. He's still
She just walks up to him. She goes, so you went and you brought the bug to and just attacked people unprovoked?
What are you talking about? I didn't attack people unprovoked. I'm a righteous paladin of the stallion.
Yes, so you went and left the ship in search of people to attack.
Is that what happened? I
Yeah.
don't remember taking you there. Or how did you come by this information?
That's what that Miramax said.
Exactly. Well, maybe there's a bit of a discrepancy between what the Mermaid told you and what is the truth. But if you want to know what happened, I can tell you. The Mermaid was bored, and I was feeling bad for the guy. He was like slumped in a corner, like carving away at a piece of wood. And you know, I was thinking about our talk earlier about how maybe he's a better ally than an enemy. So I wanted to see what he was made of. So I took him out for a ride, and that's when I saw something suspicious. I saw a camp of bandits, and I was wondering what they were up to because they were behaving strangely. And when I landed nearby, they drew their weapons on me. They started the fight, and I ended it. And I found something strange. They were dealing in stolen centaur bones. And that's what happened. And I can reassure you right now that Myrmik is nothing. He's weak.
He says, again, you know how quickly they learn. But what I'm more concerned about, rather than you teaching it to fight, is you teaching it to look for fights.
I'm not teaching it anything. That I wanted to see what it was made of. And it fell short of my expectations. I don't think he can be of any use to us.
Well, it doesn't understand that. But anyway, so centaur bones.
Yeah, I'm already having Verena investigate it.
Okay. And she just says, I'm going to go get some hair so we can search for these monks.
All right.
And she goes back to the Miramax. And she says, I would... If you have any questions, I told you to come to me. So I'd like you to come to me. But I do have one important question that you said you'd answered for me. And I want you to think about it because it's very important. And she says, what would you like me to call you?
I have thought about this. Would like to be called Calandra, and I'll put it in.
And she says, Calandra, what does that mean to you? Does it have a meaning?
That was one of the people that I was a murderer. And we'll use their name.
That was the name of the person you killed?
Murderer, yes.
And she says, what name were you thinking of before this?
We were thinking, I was thinking of a few. I was thinking of Yvette and Gaia, and then we saw this Calandra.
And do Yvette and Gaia have special meaning to you?
Those are names that we have heard in passing, and they sounded nice.
Then I shall call you Gaia Calandra, because Gaia is the goddess of life, and Calandra will remind you of death. One cannot live without the other, but to deal death is a very serious thing. And it will always be your choice.
The Queen is very wise indeed.
She says, and then she nods and I need to leave for a second. And can I just RP that she goes to Kit and gets a lock of Darius's hair, or?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so Arcadia would go and come back with a lock of Darius's hair and give it to grab it.
Alright, so Gravik has a lock of hair.
Okay. He will kind of try and cast
I
scrying.
saw 3 of 9.
Scrying with a piece of locked hair. Buddy will have -10 to his saving throw.
Okay. And that's a wisdom save, yeah. Let's see, +2. And what is the modifier to make it?
Looking.
Yeah.
I think it's maybe just against.
Oh, it's a wisdom save.
Yeah. Again, so it's just against my wisdom savers or my spell modifier.
Yeah, and what is your modifier?
One second. Where's my modifier at?
3 -10.
And where is that actually?
Under your spell attack rolls, you can see the total modifier. Or like firebolt or something.
It'll be something ridiculous because it'll be your intelligence modifier +8 plus the, I think, proficiency bonus, yes?
Yeah.
Man, having to remember old school before everything was auto-calculated for us.
Thaco? Is that what we're talking about, Thaco?
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
It did not exist.
It's not working.
It's first rule of THACO. You know.
So your
I
wisdom, so it's a 16?
They have to get over a 16.
Well, They rolled a -7, so.
Okay.
Doesn't
So
that mean they're dead?
No. They
I
rolled.
guess roll a
They,
-7.
they rolled a 1. The modifier is 2, so it would have been a 3 minus 10 with their because yeah. So.
Oh, yeah.
So the eye spawns into existence, like around this person, and he has absolutely no idea. So Gravity's just gonna like spy on him.
Okay.
I'll peer into the sphere as well. I'm like watching him. Yes.
No, you can't. It's basically just
yeah.
a magical eye appears and Gravity.
Yeah.
Wait, then no. What's the crystal ball for?
Let me
I thought the
Crystal
image
focus?
appeared in the crystal ball.
on the sixth.
Well, that's right. That happened with Kyra, apparently. But maybe it was only something Mika could do.
What's that?
Oh,
Could you
okay.
always
When we
be like
stride
a
on
mirror
Kyra.
or a ball? Like I'm pretty sure it's like TV.
Okay. Doesn't actually. I don't think it says what it actually is. It just says that a visible eye appears and starts watching the target. So I guess it's just however you want to flavor it. It can be a sphere, I guess.
Well, is the crystal ball actual, like, focus of where the thing appears, or is it just used as like a spell focus, like you
The
would
thing-
use any other thing?
The thing with spell ingredients are really just jokes. Like the crystal ball is like, oh, you're a person that's looking into their crystal ball, but if you look at like the ingredients for fireball and stuff like that, and you actually realize all the spell ingredients are just kind of like inside jokes.
Well, I mean, it's bat guano, but I mean, if you have a focus, then you don't need the components. So I'm just curious what the ruling is on scrying.
Yeah, you definitely need a focus at least 1,000 gold with a crystal ball, silver mirror. And I think the idea is like, you know, the old cartoons and like witches. Like you move your hands over the holy water and like an image appears within it, you know?
Leave it to, I guess, the DM's call. How does he want to flavor scrying?
I mean, I'm looking it up, and it doesn't really specifically say.
No, it doesn't, does it?
Like
No,
even no, but
But the things that are required are all like tropes of things that were, you know, in the movies. People see images in it.
yeah.
But then the question is it an image only visible to the caster, or can we all see it?
That's what I was looking up. No, fuck it. We did it with Kyra, so it's a magic crystal ball. I guess fuck it, but it.
Yeah, so Gravity's just holding the crystal ball in his hand and looking at it.
Is it Darius? Like, I'm guessing Arcadia recognizes him. Does he look
Yeah.
the same, or what?
He's a little bit more wizened, a little older, and maybe a little bit more tired, but it's definitely him. And he is eating, because it's nighttime, so he's eating dinner.
What do we see around him? Do we see those monks?
Yeah,
Does
he's.
he have a tattoo of Orcus or anything?
You don't know because he's in clothing, and then there is other people around. It's kind of like a hall, and yes, there are more of those monks also wearing the clothing.
And we recognize. Well, when we fought them, they were disguised as Aresian monks. But are they disguised, or do they look like Aresian monks?
They look like a region monk. Yeah, but yeah, they look just like monks.
And then, are there lots of them?
From what you see, Smooth was moving within 10 feet, so I guess you can see within 10 feet of it. Let's find how many you see. If you sit there and count, there's about 51.
There's an army of fucking cult monks.
But he doesn't look like a captive, right? He looks like he's okay being there.
Yes, he looks like he's with one of the, like with the group.
That's an awful lot of monks. I think we should be concerned that one of them might be able to see this spell going off right now.
So let him. It's very suspicious. I think your friend might have betrayed us, or at least whatever he stood for. He's now evil.
You hear a small pip-tweet voice. Yeah, and he still owes me a rope of climbing.
Corbin's ears perked. I remember something about our rope.
So do we get like, does this spell tell us the location? Like, do we now know where he is?
Arcadia would look for any landmarks that you could see, but it's hard with a 10-foot to probably see a landmark of a campfire.
And they're in a tent. I don't think you can. I'm looking through the spell itself. I don't think it says exactly where they are. It just says, like you can spy on them.
Ravik will try and Sherlock Holmes it and start inspecting the people around them to see if he can notice anything on their clothing or deduce anything from where they might be or what they've gone through to get there.
They are all in identical clothing.
Do they have, is there dirt or mud on their boots?
Sure.
Okay. So they've probably been trekking through the woods then, or some swampy area. Probably outside the city then.
Yeah, Arcadia would be looking at the same thing, being a survivalist.
Well, I don't think we can take 50 monks, to be fair.
No.
Unless we want to bring the Minotaurs.
Didn't you get your shit kicked in by 5 of them?
Yeah.
Well,
actually,
we did end up winning that fight.
5 against 50. Yeah. Just being smart.
Arcadia's when we're finished with the.
Can Gravik see is there an opening in the tent that you can see outside?
He can see the opening, but it is, again, nighttime. And you can only go 10 feet from the dude.
Right.
A tent with 50 monks in it? It's a big tent.
It's a big
I was
tent.
thinking the same thing.
That's a big tent.
Wow.
It's bigger on the inside.
It's like a big circus.
It's one of them. It's bigger on the inside.
Yeah, it's like a circus tent in a way.
Is there a fire anywhere outside, like a campfire or anything that would be a source of light?
I don't think there's 1 inch of space between them.
Have you not been in a circus tent before? They're massive. They're freaking massive. You can see there's a little bit of light outside, from a fire, I guess, or maybe you don't know if it's a campfire or torch or whatnot.
Ravik will point a finger up in the air and cast lightning bolt to cause a flash in the night sky to see if it shows up from where they are.
Oh, that's smart.
Let me look at lightning bolt. Dun, dun, dun. It does not.
Okay. Does anyone else have any powerful illuminating spells that can light the sky up?
And the bug, fireball.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think it's seed fireball cast. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good idea. He'll throw a fireball up into the sky next.
Depending on if he was out in the island, but that was the final thing that Gravik did to stop the holy war between him and Demetrius, was he shot a fireball up in the air.
That's right.
I'll say, hold up, Gravik. If you make a giant explosion in front of the city gates, I think the people are gonna panic.
Well, just firework display. I'm sure
It's a
I'm sure
30-foot
they're used to that.
explosion. All right.
And he'll throw a fire. Like he'll look over at what was her this? What did you say the name of himself? Calandra.
Gaia.
Yeah.
Actually, it's Gaia.
Yeah, yeah. Do you know how to use fireball?
Queen Arcadia says no magic.
But can you use fireball?
Actually, she didn't say no magic, but she says she'll say, "It's okay. Can you cast it?"
Ooh. We need the you call it component?
Yeah. Like Gravik will pull out the components from his pouch and hand them to.
Is that fucking bad shit?
It's dried. It's been. Just shut up, Demetrius. This is made stuff.
Says the man who brought the monkey onto the board.
Yeah, and who walks around shitting wherever he wants.
Maybe monkey poo will work the same as backbone.
And the Gaia will take it and will look at Arcadia and, is it okay?
She'll nod. Up in the air, though.
And sure shit, at Mirmic, there was a fucking fireball.
And while Miramax's doing that, Gravik will look intently at the crystal ball and see if he can see the explosion in the night air or night sky while he's looking inside the tent.
Now let me look at scrying. Sorry. You do not see the when it lights up. But
Corbin
Do we see
suddenly
any-
has
oh,
a
sorry.
vision of him holding the Merrimack like a gun.
about 15 seconds later, you hear it.
They're quite a ways away from the city by the sounds of it.
Do the monks react to it? Do they look in a certain direction?
They do not.
They're quite a distance outside the city. And Gravik will look towards the... What's surrounding the city? Is it like forest or... what's the word I'm looking for? Prairies or anything like that?
Farmland.
We have a picture.
Okay. So there's a big forest kind of to the southeast and then another... Okay, so...
Well, I'm thinking of the following. Even if we find them, I mean, we can't face this many monks. They will kill us instantly.
Yeah,
We could always just split them up, fight a few at a time.
I mean, not 50 of them.
But who says we have to fight them all? We do. I mean, we don't ever fight anybody. We can just talk our way out of it.
I'm having second thoughts about this tracking the monks down thing.
Corbin wants to smash.
But we're... At this point, there's so far away, and by the time we even locate them, they'll probably be packed up and left, and by the sun will be coming up. I think we should probably abandon this course of action, too.
Well, we don't have any other courses of action.
Arcadia says that the the queen had requested help with the bandits, and she says perhaps I could talk with her and negotiate some sort of payment if we get rid of them. If you want to take on vampires, I don't know. But that would be a source of income.
I prefer not to, but we can deal with the bandits. We can go see the queen in the morning.
I already did the bandit thing.
No, these are the vampires.
Oh, the vampires, okay.
Well, we already
Well, you know,
fought the monks.
I don't want to be that guy, but how is that our business? Don't we have a world to save? Let's go find some weapon to kill Sidon or something.
Let's say you could
Well,
always
that's what-
leave and come back too, yeah.
True. She says, that's true, we could always do that. And she says, the only thing I said is that we could ask for some sort of payment, and then that would pay for some weapons.
And I'm also thinking maybe we can get that the Pegasus that's waiting for Nico with the bridle.
That's true. She said, I would like, while we're here, to go ahead and kind of investigate the rest of the city. But that should only take a day, and then we can decide where to go. We can try to go back to that island and hope that it's the same island we think it is. Or we can go to the other places that Zymor had mentioned. I think it was the Islands of the Titans or the Islands of the Dreamers.
Yes. Let's try those.
But since we're here, why don't we just see if there's anything else we can learn here?
I have to wait for Verena to get back anyway.
Okay. But at this point, I'm guessing it's probably night.
Oh, yeah.
So why don't we go out in the morning and check out the places. I've checked out the gymnasium. There's a tournament there that happens every 7 days. I've checked out the Temple of the Shadows. There are people there that specialize in, as the name suggests, being hidden. I tried to get any information out of them, and they didn't give any, although they did seem to react when I said Orcus. But they're very mysterious. And there are several other temples.
Maybe you can tell them that the Orcus cultists are preparing an army to attack Aresia. Get those people fighting each other.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what their stance is on Orcus, and it makes me a little nervous to declare that I have a side.
Okay.
So I guess that can go to sleep, and then get up the next morning. What does everybody else think?
Yes.
Yeah.
Rest.
Yes, I think rest is probably a good idea. But Aziz. Aziz, where are you?
No response.
Aziz!
What?
Tomorrow morning at dawn, we start on the basics of the weave. Understood?
No response.
You better
Your bug
get
person.
early.
The bug guy didn't have to learn the basics of the weave.
Right.
Well, he's a different kind of creature, anyways.
Can you just teach him all of your spells so that we don't need you anymore?
Wow. Maybe teach them how to maybe teach them how to like vicious mockery. Oh, you're not that kind of bard.
You know.
Meanwhile, Corbin's up on deck with the bug. He's holding him in his hands and pointing him and saying, "Fireball, fireball."
You know, Demetrius, it would take a while for me to teach him all my spells, but we could probably replace you by just getting a workhorse.
Real funny, but you don't see him use my magic.
And the Gaia will stop and look at Queen Arcadian, and looks at Arcadian, raises an eyebrow. When Demetrius says that.
And she asks him, "Do you know Demetrius's magic too?"
And it kind of gives a sly smile.
And she backs off and said, "What do you know?"
As she's saying that, Demetrius is bragging on the background, saying, "My magic is far more powerful. It cannot be harnessed with mere skill. It must be infused with divine power."
Well, apparently the bug is favored by your god, so I guess your god doesn't have exactly high standards.
And when you guys are talking about this, he says, "By the power of the divine stallion," and he activates Form of Dread.
That's what I thought.
What the fuck?
Gravik's just gonna cross his arms and like smile, holding back a laugh.
That shouldn't be possible.
Not really that big of an achievement having the stallion favor you, I guess.
That shouldn't be possible.
Not probable.
Amishes will walk away.
And we'll deactivate the form of dread.
And Arcadia will nod at him and just say, nice. And she says,
But Aziz, make sure you get plenty of rest. And Gravik's gonna go below deck, and before he
Eat
goes
me!
to sleep, he's going to put
Wonder
Steel
Eclipse?
Wind Strike into his Ring of Spell Storing.
Okay. Alright. Are we doing anything?
Arcadia!
Okay. Anything else to for this night?
Oh yeah, one more thing before I head to bed. I will approach the mermeek again, and I will say, "Can you use this one?" And I will show him lay on hands, and I will make a cut in my palm, and I will heal it with lay on hands, and then I will give him the knife.
And they'll take the knife and this from the Divine Stallion?
Yes.
By the Divine Stallion, and we'll slice its palm and we'll use lay on hands.
I will use at the same time. I will use divine sense on him. You guys see anything?
Okay. Divine Sense. Let me forget what exactly it does. I know it's like the
Yeah, it just identifies like celestial, undead,
or fiend. It does not pop up as any of those.
I will use religion on it to see if I can identify if he's like doing some religious thing, like a cleric might.
You are unsure. Fully.
Curious, Demetrius says.
Oh, you're talking to Corbin,
He will go to bed.
and he says, and the Miramax says, "By the Divine Stallion, we have learned these. Thank you, Demetrius."
Anytime. Though Demetrius seems none too pleased that he now knows his skill as well. When it was graphic, so he didn't care as much, but now.
Now, yeah.
He will go to Arcadia, and he says, I think there's some other process at play with Mermaids. What they are doing, that's not possible. How can they do so much so fast?
She says, this is what I've been warning you about for the past several days.
Well, I mean, I get the wizard's magic. That's the one thing. Anyone can cast the wizard's magic, but not everyone can cast my magic. But somehow he can. Is there like some third godly curse or something on them that lets them just copy everything?
He says apparently they were created by Chelsea to learn, and this is, again, he just looked at him.
Maybe Chelsea is giving him this magic. It's not the stallion, I know that for sure. And Amisha will go to bed and ponder on that.
Arcadia is going to go to sleep on the deck, as she usually does. She doesn't like being inside. And then she gestures for the Miramic to, says, come, just rest next to me.
Hold on, Arcadia. I don't think that's appropriate. The Mermaid is a bit young, isn't he?
Too bad you're already in bed.
Yeah, too bad you're already in bed.
Yeah, I'm saying that out of character.
So the so Gaia Calandra, I'm gonna just call it Gaia.
Gaia.
Yeah, we'll come up and we'll sit next to you.
And she says, are you... She says, you've learned quickly. Just a reminder, just if you have any questions, just come to me. Are you... Does Gaia normally sleep? Do you normally... She says... Do you normally sleep in your... she wonders... Sorry. She's does the Miramic normally sleep in its quarters?
Yes.
Okay, and so she'll just say, Good night, and have a good rest. And just if you have any questions, you guys come to me.
And I'll say, thank you, my queen.
And she says, good night, Gaia.
Good night, queen.
Arvin's gonna check on Kyra before we go to bed.
Oh, yeah, good idea.
Okay. Are you ready for this?
And if you go into Amishis's room, because Kyra is where he sleeps, you notice he's put her in a wooden box, like a storage box. It's a bit tight.
So you go into the room that has Demetrius in it, and because he put her in the box probably a day or two ago, right?
Yeah.
Do you go to open the box or anything like that, or you just go to see it?
Yeah.
Okay. So you open the box, and the box is empty.
Oh, like Demetrius said, Demetrius, where did she go?
What do you mean? That's not possible. This door, I've been keeping it locked. I will walk over to the box and see it's empty. What in the hell?
And I gotta pee, so let's take a 10-minute break. I really gotta pee.
Nope.
Alright, stream. We'll be back in like 10 minutes. So, if you go in, please come back, and we'll see you shortly.
of me to mix up. I'm a mix of black, Indian, and white. I am American, stripes like a Parisian. I'm pleased to meet you in Greece again. Oh, now we was in our prime, had youngins chopping onions, kid cutties day and night. Out in Vigo, now a wino, throw a C note on a couple classy people and some vinyl. From the time I say the rhyme about the eagle, I'll be legal. No tax, no debts, and no devils, just stats to make it all feel regal. But what do I know? I got more dreams than words on the page. I go on for days and days. Hey yo, 91 was grimy, son, 92 was grimy too, 93 was grimy me, and 94 was grimy you, 95 was mighty nice, 96 timeless shit, 97 sliced to heaven like a 98 Bentley. And
Well, it was. After she died.
2000 break the smile in 07, oh heaven. Blessed be the child that made it out without the Mac 11. Stacking my blessings. And as far as those roaming in space, tell God make space for the trap rappers in heaven. I got more dreams than words on the page.
I think we would pretty much call it a gherkin by now.
Mm-hmm. Angry dog.
Yeah. Yeah, they're playing, running back and forth. He's showing off.
Need to record that for a future monster son.
Yeah, for a future fight against a monster or something. Check your pockets.
Our little bug friend is a little baby Zack. The only thing it doesn't know how to do is wrestle.
Man, these mermaids are a problem.
Yeah, I think they're becoming we haven't even gotten back to the swarm.
And this is what our finally
they've learned from us. So
If you think Burzum caused that problem with those gold pieces and the undead,
yeah, it's gonna be a little worse.
I think this is a little bit worse.
Apocalyptic level event.
Exactly. We might be in trouble.
Arcadia tried really. She in so many words because she stopped herself from saying "I told you so." She's been talking about this for days, but now she's like, yeah. The other thing it doesn't know how to do at least is shoot arrows, but it'll probably learn that pretty quickly anyway.
You know, I'm like wondering. I mean, the timeline seems to be merging, or like we seem to be traveling between them. Because my plan was to just ditch this guy in the evil timeline and let the evil gods and the mermaids fight each other. But if this thing comes to our timeline, as we seem to be traveling through it, that's a problem.
Which is again, see, Arcadia wasn't. She's not convinced that that. Anyway, it's her job to anticipate all the possibilities, and this is one of them. So is hey Scout, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. You're the last one, dude.
Last one. The sketch or graphic was already going to sleep.
No, I mean, check the Twitch chat.
Oh,
That's
Twitch
fun.
chat.
You have been gifted a wondrous item.
Oh.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. Awesome. Let's see what I.
How the heck do you get my point?
She a talk to me, and me a talk to she. But the day is coming that we must meet personally.
Yeah, so I gave everybody well, I was gonna give everybody, but then Demetrius beat me to it and got Corbin his fireballs.
Vinegar or something.
But remember, it would transform into her, so I'm hoping it's as good as having a lock of her hair.
So we'll see. I could also scry. I got that prepared.
Yeah, Arcadia didn't ask Nico to scribe because he came stumbling onto the deck after the Red Lotus.
Singing some sea shanties. Nico, those are bad shanties.
South of the border sea shanties? South of the border sea shanties.
The others, worse than the others. For those of us in New York, that would be Dr. Dirty.
What's Dr. Dirty?
John Valby, Dr. Dirty. Look him up.
Or maybe not.
Or maybe not. If you're, I mean, if you can handle dirty singing.
Arcadia, dirty singing, no way.
Well, you should hear some of the alternate lyrics that have come up along the years of being on the road.
Alright, so we're back. Corbin and Armitrius have discovered that the box containing lovely Kyra's body is empty.
But I've always locked the door, and I've always guarded the door. I tell.
Well, she's gone. How long did you check every day? How many days has she been gone?
I mean, it couldn't have been whilst we were at sea, so it had to have happened in the last day.
Since we got here?
Yeah. And I've been out of this I've been out with my dragon and the mermaid. It could have happened then, but I did leave the door locked, and I took the key. So somehow someone bypassed that door.
Maybe something with the timelines, because strange things have been crossing over. So maybe we should try to contact her. Maybe she's alive.
Yeah, we should scry for her immediately.
We should get Nico and Arcadia.
Let's scry for her before they go to bed, so that they can still recover their magic.
Better go get them before they fall asleep.
Or pass out drunk.
We'll go get the others and inform them that Kyra's body has been stolen and or disappeared.
Arcadia would say, maybe we should try the pickle? Maybe she's alive again?
Can you check that helmet that you guys had that changed when you went into the timeline? Maybe it's changed back.
Oh yeah, I'll look through my pack for the Medusa helmet.
Oh yeah, good idea. She raises the visor and looks straight into its eyes. No, she's Oh, by the way, she would have asked Corbin back for the other side of the Sending Stone back, so she has her pair again after he came back from the Queen.
You might have to roll a D100. I might give you the spike one by mistake.
No, they have matching things, so she would know.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, what do we do when we peek at the Medusa helm? Is it still missing, or is there a head in there now again?
There's a head in there again.
Oh my god!
And that means that we're back in our own world somehow.
Kind of, because Chuck is not burned, so it's like they're melding. She will.
Yeah.
I forgot to say, she would have asked when she went to grab Darius's lock of hair. She would have asked Kit. She said, "You said I'm skinny," and she would ask her just randomly, like, that she knows this is a strange question, but what's my relationship with Ileana? Or does she know? Or what is my relationship with the Amazons, for that matter? What is my status among the Amazons?
And she would have said that you are, 1, married, and 2, the commander of the Amazons.
Or the second in command?
Yeah.
Okay, so then she would say to Ametrius, like, but some stuff from this timeline is still true. The other timeline is true, so it's like both worlds are existing at the same time.
That is really bad for us, because if we don't get our gods back, then we're fucked.
Nicodemus, try the pickle.
Is the pickle, is it still rotten, or did it rejuvenate as well?
No. Let's pull the pickle out and have a look at it.
The pickle is slimy and small.
Oh God,
That's what
I'm
happens when
actually-
you have too much alcohol.
this is disgusting. But I'll try it.
It's turned into raisin-like.
I agree, pork pickle.
Nico puts it close to his, well, not close to his face, but within, so he could talk to it. And he's like, Kyra, are you listening? Can you hear me? Kyra, come back.
No response.
Let's try scrying.
Okay, so Nico pulls out his crystal ball.
Oh yeah, the ball actually belonged to Nico.
Oh no, Graphic has one, but so do
We
I. I
both
bought
have a
one
crystal
from.
ball.
I bought one
Oh,
from the boss. Of course, mine was expensive as fuck.
Yes, it was.
That's okay.
You have the premium crystal ball.
Yeah, that's right. That's why my what do you call it? Is higher, I guess. My spell save. So I'm gonna what do I use? The pickle for the
Yeah.
Arcadia would look in the wooden box or the coffin. Is there any like remnants of her in there,
There is not.
like hair?
There is not.
That's a good idea. Oh man, there's nothing there. Okay, well, since the pickle is part of her,
Gross.
I'm gonna use scrying on the pickle and see if I can't locate her. So I am going to roll. Nope, that didn't work.
Well, your save is at 17, right?
Yeah.
It does not pop her up anywhere.
So
Nothing.
shouldn't his save be lowered because he met her? So you know the target well. That's like a -5.
Yeah, like it like either way, like it wouldn't
Yeah.
pop up. Like she has to make the save against his DC, against his
Oh, okay.
yeah, and it would not pop up.
Is Gravik there right now and it's like 90 or something?
Did they wake him up?
Yeah, we gotta
Yeah.
grab a go.
Having just like half asleep, like if it didn't work, doesn't that mean she's alive and not a corpse anymore?
You can scry on anything.
Does it always work on corpses?
You can scry on anything.
Oh, so if you scry on or like a dead body, like you see because it can save or something.
Like you can choose a location you've seen before as the target of the spell. Like you can scry on a bloody rock if you wanted.
Does that mean she's alive or that she's simply not in our world anymore?
Just means it's not working. I don't know. I can't answer that.
Can you scry on the oracle?
Oracle.
Is Corbin here?
Yep.
Corbin, do you have anything from the Oracle that I could use?
Not really.
So you are familiar with her.
Maybe the sheets.
She didn't give you a trinket of remembrance? You know, like a locket or something?
I don't think so. She's not really sentimental type. Besides, she always keeps an eye on me.
Oh, we're trying to keep an eye on her now too, so let's
She might not like that.
So you don't need.
Hey, if you can look at a place, why don't you look at the pantheon of the gods? See if they're there.
You don't need a possession. You can just do it with familiar knowledge.
yes. So I'm familiar with her. Okay.
Okay. So you scry
It would be a
and
17.
Yeah.
And whatever minus for familiar knowledge.
Right. So it pops up. She does pop up, and as soon as it pops up, she looks right directly into the orb. And what?
It says, does Kyra have purple hair?
And she looks. What do you want?
I'll ask Nico to ask her if Kyra has purple hair.
You can't talk to it.
Don't
why is
let
she
that
asking what then?
But she can see and hear. Like you can see and hear her. But she can't. She cannot see and hear
Can
you.
I write it on a note? Does Kyra have purple hair?
Like you can see and hear her. She can't see and hear you.
She can't see and hear us.
She just
was looking at.
She knows that it's there.
Oh.
Wow, she's good.
Poor pickle.
Yeah, she's there. Right? There's the oracle, but
Do
and
we
she
see any
noticed
difference?
we're looking at her, but there's nothing.
Does she
Were
look
there
like
any
the oracle
differences
that
between the
Corbin knows?
oracles? Two timelines?
She looks like the oracle that Corbin knew, carnally.
Like, but that looks like the same one as the evil oracle, right? Or the
I see the mole.
timeline.
It's definitely her.
You see the mole.
Okay. So it may be that this is our oracle again. This is so confusing.
Very,
But the alternate oracle didn't look any different, if I recall.
She did
Yeah,
not have.
the mole.
She didn't have the mole.
Pythor instead. See, Pythor, we will know it instantly.
Yeah, is he fat or is he? You know?
Yeah, can you do Pythor, Nico?
one more. All right. And
We have the hammer, right, Arcadia? Or didn't you take it?
No. He
So
gave it back
I
to him.
drop concentration on that spell, and I cast Scrying for the last time on Python.
Would it, like, any of Arcadia's hair do anything? Because she's half Pythor?
It would have to be from. Well, I don't know.
I think it has to be from him.
Well, we're very familiar with him.
Yeah, you are pretty familiar with him.
So
Uh,
DC 17.
So,
Familiar.
so when this one pops up, you hear loud snoring, and when it kind of pans down, you see Pythor, but he's neither fat nor muscle. And you see a plate of cheesy potatoes laying next to him, and like a cask of booze also laying next to him.
I think that's the old Pythor. I think that's the one, and then the new. I think that's the new one.
Is this like a room on the Ultros? So if we looked at.
Looking around, it is not a room on the Ultros.
Okay, so it's in a building at least. Does seem like it would be our Pythor.
It's in his castle. It has to be.
Well, good news, everyone. We seem to be back on our world.
Well,
Kind
somewhat.
of. Kind of, because again, I'm married and the commander of the Amazon.
Maybe this
Well,
is
maybe-
just a mix between two different worlds.
Sounds like it.
But we can't deal with any evil gods if there's like the five gods turned evil, then we're in we have a huge problem.
You're in a big pickle. See what I did? See what I did there? See what I did there?
That's a big pick.
Well, that's something to think about. And now that we're in possibly our world, we also might want to think about with Mermaid. I don't want him freeing his people in our timeline. If he
Well,
goes out and he tries to talk to the Queen Hare and tries to get them out of that dome, I'm gonna have to kill him.
No, you won't. It's you. This is the decision that you made, and this is what we have to deal with. I warned you.
The safety of the world is a little more important than a decision made ages ago.
Ha! That is exactly what I told you when you were gonna free him, and I argued that the.
Okay, you're right. So you want to let the world burn over it?
We made a promise.
Maybe.
Well, if I have to choose between my promise and the safety of thousands of Metrosians, I'll choose the safety of the Metrosians.
You can't tell what it's going to do.
No, but if I get the idea that it's going to try and free its people and unleash them on our world, I'll stop him. Or it.
Well, what's our plan now? Do we seek the monks? Do we check out the vampires, or do we leave here altogether and go back?
I still want to, while we're here, at least get to know figure out what's going on in the rest of the city, just so we know if there's anything we can find that's helpful here that we have searched.
Well, I certainly don't want to take on 50-some monks.
Same.
And as for vampires, well,
I mean, honestly, the vampire, it's a bit of an issue, but it doesn't seem like it's related to our quest or our problems, per se.
I mean, if we do take care of it, it probably would help the city a lot and gain us some bonus points with them.
Yeah,
But we first need to tackle and talk to the Queen and get into the Temple of Narcissus first.
If I one day have an army, I'm going to war with Aresia.
Why? Just
The
because
fuck?
you're not. Why?
Because they're assholes. They hate centaurs. They treat like shit. I'm not gonna help them.
So do people in Mitros. So why don't you just wage war against everybody?
Well, the people in Mitros have come to respect and love me, actually.
Only in the alternate world. If we're back in the old one, remember.
Oh yeah,
They
well, I'm
wouldn't
going
sell
to
you
make war
wine.
on Mitros as free slaves.
You do that. I'm going to go to sleep, and I'm going to. And by the way, she has never dismissed her rhino. Her rhino is just like hanging out because she never dismissed
hell?
it. It's been on the boat, the ship, this entire time. So anyway, but she's going to go to sleep
That
and
thing
get up
potty
early in the
trained?
morning. Yeah, it sure is. It is a well-behaved animal, unlike some other ones that have been brought onto the ship.
Like Junior.
Yeah.
Junior the Poofling and Monkey.
And Piggy.
Piggy is fine. Piggy keeps the ship clear of rats.
Yep.
That's good.
Piggy.
Well,
Piggy is a good mouse.
Junior keeps the ship clear of bandits.
What? Junior keeps the ship clear of bandits?
Yeah, he throws shit
Orban's
at
head
him.
is hurting. He says, "Okay, I guess we
Yeah.
explore the city for tomorrow."
Yeah. Arcadia's going to sleep.
Okay. So Gravik, when you go back into your room to do whatever you do, you find a
Don't go blind! Don't go blind!
yeah, don't go blind. You find a package, a wrapped package of something that is on your bed.
He's gonna quickly look around his room, look under the bed, and just kind of like inspect the package wearily. Inspect it very closely before cautiously pulling the wrapping apart.
And inside is a spell scroll.
Ooh, a 4th level too.
Let's find out which one it is. On my table. Bloody
Whatever it
table.
is, he's not that kind of wizard.
He probably isn't.
That's good, 4th level. What's your highest level of spells that you can cast, Gravik? And you, Nico, I'm just kind of curious.
I can cast
level 6.
one. Yeah, level 6. I got one level 6 spell slot.
Is that the same for you, Beth?
What the hell is this? Let's see.
Oh, what?
That's what I'm saying too. Let me see if you can
The
actually
private
cast
sanctum.
it. He can. So it's a scroll of Mordekainen's private sanctum.
Nice.
Oh man, that sounds amazing.
That's awesome.
You make an area within range magically secure. The area is a cube that can be as small as 5 foot to as large as 100 foot on each side. The spell lasts for the duration until you use an action to get rid of it. Oh, so it's like that fucking cube.
Oh.
Return to the cube.
Fucking cube. Jesus Christ. Oh no, not well. Not well. You people who know.
Yeah, that was a horrible time.
Vampires teleport in. Vampires can't get in. Vampires can't get in. Vampires can't get in.
They can't get out either.
Yeah, they can't get out now.
Okay, well, Gravik will look at that and just fuse where it came from, and then he'll
Got a stamp of the moth on it.
Same with the
yes.
moth.
No, it doesn't have
Still-
a moth on it. It has an Amazon mark.
Has an Amazon on it, courtesy of Arcadia cheating on chat.
Now we know what Gravik's going to do all day the next day, right? He's going to be like studying it.
Go blind.
You'll be going
Yeah.
blind again.
Wow, what an amazing spell. That was some luck.
as large as 100 feet. What the hell am I gonna do with that? And the spell lasts for the duration.
Put all 51
ultimate-
months.
24 hours. Lasts for 24 hours.
Jesus. Well, you can protect the ultras with it permanently.
He's not that kind of wizard.
Alright, long rest time, I guess.
When you use it on a spell slot of 5th or higher, you can increase the size of the cube out of 100 foot per each side beyond level. Jesus Christ.
They can walk through it. It's just they basically create a cloaking field.
It reminds me of that freaking Cuba Force. That's what it reminds me
It's
of.
not the Cube of Force though, but it's basically, if I cast this at high enough level, I could create a barrier of warded area appears dark and foggy. So I found a spell that will hide my vampire castle.
Excellent. And before Gravik is secretly Lord Strahd. Could you imagine?
But
Wow, that is lucky because the only class that can do that is wizard. Boy, that was amazing.
But yeah, when I get an opportunity, I'm definitely going to copy that to my spell book. Did you put that in my inventory, or is it in the card
It's
sheet?
inventory.
Okay, so hold on to that then. Oh yeah,
You have a good week too. Thank you.
when Gravik wakes up, he's probably going to go. First errand of the day is go to the bank to get his gold pieces transferred into platinum pieces, since he's now at a 317 weight.
Well, and also remember that you're supposed to wake up early to train Aziz.
Right, so Gravik will wake up and just walk out onto the deck. Aziz, time for your lesson.
No response.
Aziz,
No response.
where is that friggin' right? He's gonna start walking up the mast to get to Aziz his perch or nest. And once he gets up there, he's gonna see if he's he's up there and ignoring him or not.
Oh, he is passed out.
He's going to take a handful of the coins very gently, so not to wake Aziz up.
And when you do that, his eye pops open.
And he's not just gonna like look at him and just blank face, and just his hand full of gold coins and hold them over the edge like he's gonna drop them, and just kind of like look at him like, you want me to? You gonna behave?
Would you like to be caught on fire?
Oh, is that how this is gonna be played out? You ready to take part in your lesson?
And he opens his mouth and you see like a little flame in it.
He's gonna like inch one of the coins to the tip of his finger, like ready to drop it. Don't.
And he looks at you.
It's time for 101 weave. You're gonna learn about the weave tonight or today.
It's too early.
No, it's not too early. I told you to go to sleep early.
It's too early.
No. You say that again, I'm gonna drop a coin.
Then you'll be roasted.
Yeah, well then I'll roast you.
You can try.
Bonding is going well.
Demetrius and Astrea are just looking at him, shaking their head.
Come on.
Corbin's on deck saying, "What have I done?"
Don't be a brat. It's time for your lesson. I told you. I gave you plenty of warning.
No, I'm going back to sleep. Put my money down.
He's gonna drop one of the coins.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Is he breathes on you?
Yeah. So the moment he hits him with that, he's gonna hit him with a lightning bolt.
Okay.
Damn it, Gravik.
Hit him with lightning bolt.
What the hell?
Kill him, you're gonna die too.
Yeah, we have to attack you by our oath. If you kill him.
You gotta drop it.
You gotta target something.
How about you look at the map, yeah? How about we do that? There you go.
Oh. Okay, let's see, okay. Okay,
Look how cute he is, though. Like, why would you want to shoot a bolt of lightning at him? Poor Aziz.
Oh, he's adorable.
He is. And Gravik's shooting lightning bolts at him.
Stop it, Aziz! This is not productive and you're being a bad dragon!
Money back!
No, that's he's just gonna drop all the coins as they hit the deck below.
Ooh, and it charges, and he shoots another firebolt at you, or breath weapon at you.
Oh.
So, just to...
Gravik, stop this madness.
Yeah, you guys can hear all this shit, like the coins
Yeah,
hitting
you
the
guys are
ground.
sleeping.
No, I think they're
It
up.
was
I-
post-rest.
Yeah, I thought it was post-ride. I think they're up now.
Yeah.
So-
This is on the deck, right?
Yeah, well, that would awaken Arcadia, and she's just watching.
Yeah, like you guys, you hear the coins falling, and you look up and you see all this fire and lightning going on.
So we'll just probably skip to what is going on with the guys while this whole lightning and fireball show is happening up there.
Well,
No, we're watching.
Arcadia gets up, and she's getting ready to leave the ship.
And Mirmak is watching.
After several minutes, Gravik's gonna come walking down the mast, charred. You have 5 minutes, Aziz!
Money back now.
No, it's my money now! And as he walks down the mast, and he's gonna start picking up the coins.
Give me a deck save. Ooh, as a splat lands next to you.
That's it, Aziz! You get no more gold coins for this behavior!
I will walk up to Gravik and I will say, do you want some help with this?
No, I do not want any help!
This isn't working out, man. You need to treat dragons differently.
He needs to learn respect!
Well, if you want respect from a dragon, you have to show them that you are worthy of being respected, and that's not by stealing from them, which is against your oath.
I didn't steal from him, I just dropped them on the grid. Oh.
As he flies by.
Does he get Demetrius with that too?
No. He's aiming for you.
Listen, dragons are prideful creatures. You're not gonna win like this. You're not gonna be more headstrong than a dragon.
No, you know what? He's gonna cast Bigsby's hand and try and snatch Aziz out of the air.
If you kill Aziz, that's not gonna go well.
Alright, so the Merrimack has never seen this spell, so Bigby's hand pops up.
And he's gonna try and just grab Aziz out of the air.
Okay.
He's not gonna try and hurt him, just basically grab him.
Oh.
And he's just gonna like hold him in the air. Aziz! Bad! Bad dragon!
Wiggling. And Demetrius, Astrea comes up to you and she's kind of like whimpering a little bit as she's watching this.
And I will pat her on the head and I'll say, Graphic, stop. Just leave it be.
And
No,
even Vengeance and Corbin, Vengeance looks a little bit agitated at this too.
Aziz isn't your slave.
No. He is my child, essentially, and I was trying to teach him, and he's attacked me.
You stole from me.
I didn't steal anything from you.
Is
Teach? Yeah, if you want to teach Aziz something, you have to get his agreement and permission. And you have to explain to him why it is that you want to teach him that and why it's useful. If you just make demands and try to bully a dragon, that's a very bad idea.
As he's wiggling, Vengeance says Corbin, even the centaur gets it. I thought wizards were supposed to be smart, as she says this privately to Corbin.
Dragons are on top of the food chain, remember?
Yes, perhaps he wasn't such a good choice for the Dragonlords.
As Aziz is physically struggling against this damn hand.
Are you gonna burn me more?
My money.
My money now. I'm holding on to it for the time being until you learn some respect. Oh,
I will look to Corbin. I will go and meet Corbin's eyes with my own, and like he's the ancient Dragonlord, so I'm deferring to him on how we should act.
We would say, so Corbin will walk over and say, "Enough."
Gravik will point.
I will walk up to the other side of Graphic like a loop bodyguard.
Gravik's just gonna point Aziz's head in the opposite direction from him so it doesn't burn him again.
Money.
That's all you care about. Why? Why are you so greedy?
As you think back to Vengeance in her room of traps.
Arcadia leans down to the Miramac and says, Gaia, none of this is worth you learning. It is a waste of time. I will see you later, and she is going to walk off the ship.
I will cast a command on Graphic, and I will command him to stop.
If that doesn't work, Corbin's just going to smash.
Just gonna grapple him.
But it has to be poorly.
I'll command him. Stop.
But at that point, probably the spell would have wore off anyways. It only lasts for a minute.
And with Bigby's hand going away, Aziz looks very sad, and he'll fly back up to the top of the mast. And he does that very pathetically, if you will.
Come on, Graphic. This isn't like you. You're better than this.
Nah.
No, he's not.
No, he's not. He's not that kind of wizard.
Used to dragons actually being agreeable. And
You met your god. What was your god agreeable?
although I wasn't talking about Bahamut, I was talking about someone
Were
else.
any of the 5 gods that we met agreeable?
I wasn't talking about Bahamut.
Well, what about the other 5 gods? Were they agreeable?
Are you comparing a dragon to a god?
No, because they're dragons as well. Every dragon he has met so not be. That's not
Usually
the point I'm
godhood changes people, makes them a little...
I don't know where you're from, but around here, dragons aren't pets or slaves. You might want to try a different approach.
How would you even go about teaching a disobedient child?
Well, for one, that's a dragon and not a disobedient child.
It's a child in age. It needs to learn how to interact with people without catching them on fire if they don't agree with that.
What have you been teaching him today? To use violence? To steal? If you want to teach it something, you have to show it, and you have to explain why you're teaching that thing and what it might
I've
bring
already
them.
explained to him the necessaries of learning.
I heard you scream something about the weave and insisting it comes on your command. That's not teaching. That's just bullying.
No, we were... Demetrius, mind your own goddamn business.
Fine. And I'll walk away.
Poor Odyssey.
Corbin will join Demetrius to explore the town.
No, I'm
Okay.
not going into town.
Are you
No.
not going? Yeah, I don't think he's going to go into town.
Well, I'll leave the ship and go explore the town.
Okay. So Arcadia and Corbin, is Nico going to go?
Oh, yeah, he'll go with them. Come on, Demetrius.
That's not a good idea.
Shit, we'll beat their asses.
I mean, are you sure, Nico? Because it will happen. And Arcadia's gonna give me shit over it. You're gonna take the heat, okay? You take the heat from Arcadia and I'm in.
Nico's already, his nerves are shot. He's ready to kill somebody because he hasn't been drinking.
Oh, I need a con save from Nico. I need a con save.
He's looking for a fight. Cracking his knuckles and everything. He's like, oh.
I need a con save from Nico, please.
Okay. Let's find it.
Oh, alcohol
You got me covered, I'm coming. But you have to take the heat with Arcadia, freak.
Gravik's just gonna stay on the ship to tend his wounds.
Forgot to put it in the tower.
Oh, you're good.
And deal with Aziz.
So, graphic question. Actually, somebody brought this up. Have you been eating? Like, you're
Hasn't been really drinking that much, so that like his proper allotment, I guess.
So he's a little bloodthirsty.
Yeah, they probably would be.
Okay. Thank you. So Gravik is staying on the ship.
Yeah, he's staying on the ship to tend his wounds and deal with Aziz's bad behavior.
Aziz is bad. He's being good.
The
Okay.
bad dragon. He's got the worst behaved dragon out of them all.
And the Myrmec is here. Okay, cool.
Nico says to Corbin, he's like, he whispers to him that that dragon's going to kill Gravik.
We can only hope.
It will.
Well, I hope
We're
not,
gonna
because
help.
They've taken the oath. They're going to have to learn to deal with it,
If one dies, the other dies as
or it
well.
will kill them both.
Oh, that's sad. Nico, being a druid, sees the way the Aziz was being treated. He's like shaking his head. He's not happy.
Poor Aziz.
The first one to draw, the one to draw first blood was Aziz.
We can't hear you. Well,
He can't hear. But no, you started it. You stole his money.
I mean, Astrea has attacked Demetrius like twice by now as well.
Oh, yeah.
And Demetrius doesn't freak out
Demetrius loves it. He's like, that's what you do.
do it again.
Teach him.
Okay, so just because Demetrius wants to raise a psychopath doesn't mean Gravik wants to.
I mean,
Corbin are the only
we're in
ones-
ancient Greece, dude. And then psycho to make it in the world.
Me and Corbin are the only ones with a stable relationship. This is the way of the Dragonlords. Learn or die.
All right, cool.
Right.
All right, so Corbin, Nico, and Ametria. God, Ametria's. Oh. So now I know what to prep for next week.
Cavern brawl.
Yeah. And, especially if Nico's not drinking. Oh. Alright, cool. So, I would think Arcadia probably left like 5 or 10 minutes before the boys did. Okay, cool. So, I think that'd be a good place to stop. I know, so next week you want to explore some more of the town. What from there, though? There's like 3 or 4 options, so just so I know what to
How many days
prep
until
for.
the peace is over?
Arcadia.
Chigo.
There are, let's see, 33 days.
Ziggy.
We're wasting a lot of time.
Yeah, but we don't really
She's
know what to
wasting
do.
less time in case there's something there that we need and we don't know about it and spend an entire 3 days. You figure since
How
we're there,
about-
you can spend an extra day.
How about we spend one more day here, and then no
Yeah.
matter what, we set the terrain.
Well, that's what
To an
she's
island.
planning on. She just wants to investigate. So I'll tell you what Arcadia's going to do. She's going to go to the Temple of the Elements. Kit mentioned that beauty, hanging gardens, and the painting gallery. She's not interested in that, but she would try to visit the Temple of the Shield, or Temple of the Elements. But she'd also try to get an audience with the Queen to see what they might offer if they got rid of the bandit.
Okay.
And yeah, I guess they'll be going into town. But Amitrius, when it gets dark, I will set the Antikythera to one of the islands. Like you mentioned that 2 islands where they told us to go, the Titans
Yeah.
and the Dreamer.
Titans
So
or the
I'll
Dreamer.
just yeah.
Which
So
one?
I'll just set it to one of those then, and then we can leave after the day here, so that we're at least like going somewhere with the Oath of Peace thing.
Okay. Do you know which one, or do you want to let me know?
I think the Dreamer, that sounds like the prison that we've been, so I'm thinking the Titans personally.
What
The
prison?
constellation of the Titan. Because the Dreamer, wasn't that like the island of
We already go there.
yeah.
No.
we only-
Nope. We have not been
then
to
I
the
guess
Titan. We have not been. He mentioned the Titan, the Dreamer, which are the ones that we need the extra piece for. Of the extra pieces, we have not been also to the dragon, the nymph, the spear, and in
Oh!
the one where we didn't
Let's
need
do the
one, we
dragon.
haven't been the ant.
Let's
Again,
do
though,
the dragon.
Zymor mentioned the Titan or the Dreamer.
But let's do the dragon, because that's like our thingy, Hexia. Let's put a lid on that one.
No, we don't know if we don't. Things that are named that doesn't mean that that's there. The other thing is, even though she wants to get Hexia, Arcadia is not in any particular rush at this point because she doesn't think we're strong enough. Because Hexia is an ancient dragon. Because
Oh.
she was a former, she was an oath bound to I forget his coaches, Orcalander or something like that. So she is an ancient dragon, and so she is not in a big rush to confront her yet.
Well, then I'll just set it to the Dreamer.
The Dreamer? Okay.
The Dreamer.
And if you decide change your mind this week, just let me know by like Thursday.
Set.
And
There,
is he going to start shit in the city?
I mean, he's not gonna,
Are you gonna start shit with him?
go out for like he's not gonna confront the street and start some shit. But I mean, Nico is like bringing him along, and if he enters a tavern and he goes there and like someone spits on his name or calls him a dirty horse, yeah, then there's gonna be shit. So the answer is probably, but he's not gonna go looking for it.
Well, I don't know if Nico would actually go into a bar, considering he's
Oh, yeah.
trying to get sober.
But
It is
you know what I
early
mean,
morning.
like.
It is early in the
Maybe they
morning.
meet a vendor and the vendor charges him 4 times as much for the same thing, and yeah, that's beef.
You mean
That's a
he would
stall.
probably? He probably would.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, basically the answer is yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So Arcadia is going to look for the temple elements. Sheila irons with the queen. Then we're going Nico's or.
But she's also shopping, like I said at the end of the session.
Yeah.
What she's looking for.
Okay. And then we're going to the Dreamer, and then the boys are going to start shit. Okay. And then Gravik's going to since you're going to be here licking your wounds, are you going to try and copy that spell? Are you going to go off the ship sometime?
Yeah, he'll be trying to copy that spell, like starting next session, I suppose.
All right. Well, give me so I remember. Just give me an Arcana check now. DC of 14,
Okay, DC 14.
and then it'll be 200 gold. Yeah, you definitely got it.
Oh wow.
All right, so you're able to copy that spell over into your book. Just subtract the gold,
Okay.
and then that'll take 8 hours to do.
Okay, and there it goes. I subtracted it.
If you want my okay. And since gold seems to be because your valuable behavior, you'll not be getting any more. Oh my God, you're gonna keep money from Aziz. Oh no.
Oh, that's just cruel.
That's just wrong.
And before he leaves, Amitrius will offer Gravik that to help him mend the relation between him and Aziz. He has some ideas.
Have you ever seen? There's like videos of like a cat or a dog getting mad at their owners, and they just have their back to them.
Yeah.
This is how Aziz sits right now. He's pouting. All right, cool. So yeah, I think that should be good. We learned some stuff, and we did some stuff, and
You're more confused than ever.
now you're just more confused as ever because it seems
That's
like the
my part.
timelines are merging.
Because I'm just gonna start beating people until I get some plot hooks.
Listen, the three boys are out of town, and Corbin and Nico want to fight, and Amitrius is.
Demetrius, the peacekeeper.
Demetrius, the peacekeeper.
Yeah,
I
notice
think we
why.
boys can find something to get up to.
Yeah, notice why Arcadia did not ask for anybody to come with her to see the queen.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I was looking to beat somebody. Nico's looking to beat somebody. Demetrius thinks he's not looking to beat somebody, but he is.
But he is.
They'll make him. Yeah, you're kind of right there, Gorgio. Like, Australia is the new hype. Now Junior is like neglected.
Poor Junior. No wonder he's throwing shit at Australia.
He can befriend the bug guy.
Good news is
Calandra, damn.
Whenever the bugs do turn bad on us, they're going to have all our flaws as well. So they're really not going to be very well disciplined.
Which is why Arcadia told Gaia to ignore everything that she just saw.
Well, I was on board with the bug people when it was a different timeline, but now we're kind of in the shit.
You don't know what
Well,
it is.
and then Arcadia said you can't take for granted that timeline was not ours, that we were stuck there.
Yeah, I know, but Amitrius didn't accept that. And
That's
as
true.
usual, she was right, but that being right doesn't help with.
Right.
All
No,
that
we're all
doesn't help a
playing.
lot.
We're all playing our characters, which I love. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna say this here. I have this have a fantasy. I have a fantasy
Sus.
that when we come to what we know is going to be like our final session, it would be really, really cool if we could all do it in person.
Yeah, it would.
Damn,
I'm just
that would-
throwing it
that'd
out
be the
there.
hardest.
That would be the hardest. Yeah.
Go to the Netherlands. Go to the Netherlands.
Well, I'd help out. I'd help out. I have points and stuff. I'd help out with that.
Yeah. And I mean,
Twitch points.
I mean, I
A lot
have,
of Twitch points. That's
I-
a lot of Twitch
The
points.
Twitch points plane ticket.
and
I
I
have other points.
have a big enough place that could have everyone if needed.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
I
I live.
I have the funds to travel to America and for such an event.
D&D in the bunker.
But it would have to be announced long ahead of time.
Yeah, that would. I mean, if you really want me to, I could, or like give you some kind of like heads up, like okay, we're nearing the end.
That would be awesome.
I would need
Yeah, that
like
would be
at least
cool.
like 3-4 months before time to arrange such a thing.
Okay.
my work and such.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd need some heads up too, but I'm glad. I just wanted to throw that. I've been thinking about that for a little while now.
But I can tell you that is not anytime soon.
Yeah. Well,
No, I didn't think so.
Probably gonna be
Oh,
level 20 before we get to that point.
Well, next week is at least gonna
27,
be
here we
alright.
go.
When we get that close, we're also going to have to be deciding if we want to play another game too.
Yeah.
After this.
Yeah.
So that's a big decision too. 'Cause
Yeah.
I like having early Sunday morning game. It's nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Because I was also very interested in the other games by these creators.
Oh,
what
this.
other ones do they do?
I think the Serpent Sea.
The
I
Norse
think.
one.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Norse
I
one.
started that one about 2 months ago. It's not bad.
Yeah. It doesn't have my spin on it though.
Exactly. You know, when this is
Yeah.
all over, I want to get the book and find out how much of
Yeah,
this was
you
all
gotta tell us the
audio.
real story. How was it really supposed to go?
But cool. Yeah, we're done. We'll be back next week. The following is Father's Day. I don't know what plans are yet. So hopefully I'll know something within the next week or so. But
Being
I can
Father's Day, I'm
play,
allowed to play.
yeah,
I
that's
have no
what I'm
problem
thinking too.
playing on Father's Day. After the game, I'm just going to take a drive to my parents' house and hang out for the rest of the day.
Nice. Yeah, I don't know, like, if what my parents... It's basically just what my parents are going to plan on doing. Like, if they're doing early morning stuff, then I got to go. But if not, then it will be good to go.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yep.
I'm gonna go get some Timmies.
You bastard. I'm going to go make some more money.
I got some in the coffee maker right now.
Nice. Actually, so do I, technically.
Yeah, you should have more than enough Tims to last you probably for the next 3 months.
Me?
Okay, maybe 2 months?
Maybe 2 months. Well, funnily enough, I still have a bag and a half of chips. Oh, so
You did have a lot of chips.
Yeah,
What,
well,
you have like 5
well,
or 6 bags?
Yeah, we blew through Kayla's bag, so now it's just yours.
Gotta send them Canadian ketchup chips.
Yeah, that's what I have.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they're good.
Ketchup and
All
what are
dressed.
those?
Oh yeah.
Barbecue. All right, stream.
Bunch
We're
of
done.
things that you don't get.
Thanks for hanging out today, and we'll see you next week. And yeah, have a good night or good day.